Hello everyone. We the traditional thatchers, we are here with another topic for today. We are here with another interesting topic for today. And Nina, who will be joining very shortly.
Hey, good morning, Suprabhatam, Seattle.
Yeah. Thank you, Nina. Good evening to you too.
Good evening, good evening. So, how are
Yes.
you? How are you, Jay? So good to see you.
Yeah, of course. Very nice to see you also.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
okay.
How's the weather now? You still, how is the weather now in Seattle?
Yeah, there it is cloudy only. Mostly it rains. Although the summer has started here, it is cloudy only here. And therefore, I've switched on the lights and I'm talking now.
I
How
can
is it?
imagine.
Yeah, how is it there?
Oh my God. Or it is very warm. We have
Warmer?
signs of rain, but no rains. No
No
rains. I
rain.
think we have a lot of breeze, but cool winds in the evening and mid afternoons also. But it's very warm. It's very warm, but it's okay, manageable so far.
Okay.
So it's fine. So far, so good. So
Yeah.
good. So we have some interesting conversations today, and then
Yes.
missing dear Viji and Malati also.
Malasi. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
They may not be able to
true.
join today.
So how was your day? You finish your coffee. How do you start your day there, Jayashree, in
Yes, of course,
Seattle?
with a coffee only you have to be because it's very cold here. When a hot cup of coffee is needed.
True.
Although I try to
Yes.
take less, that's becoming impossible at all here. So
Very
with a
true.
coffee only we start off the day. And Seattle, it's good coffee you get here. So nobody can
Wonderful.
afford to put yes. And
Yeah,
then
but that's a pure filter, a pure coffee, and you use the traditional filter there too.
not a traditional filter. We don't have the coffee maker. We have the modern
Yes.
types that which you get here. So
Yeah.
that is there. And instant coffee also is very good. And
Yeah.
the climate is such that even if you keep that in India, when you keep it open, it becomes very hard. The instant coffee, but here it doesn't become hard. It's always, the loose flow is always there in
Very
that
true.
coffee powder. That's very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think you must be used to that kind of a thing, having traveled abroad
yeah,
several
yeah,
years, right? But
yeah.
then, fine, I know you would have really inducted your son into kind of organizing himself, and
Yes, of course.
how did you really get into doing that, and how did you kind of motivate your son though during those study?
Yes,
Would love to really love and share all those
sure.
tips, Jayashree.
Yes. Yes. See, many of the families, நம்ம வீடுகள்ல நிறைய குழந்தைகள்லாம் அஹ், ஒரு ஹையர் ஸ்டடீஸ்க்காக ஒண்ணு இந்தியாலயே வேற இடத்துலயோ இல்லைன்னா அப்ராட்ல ஒரு மேல் படிப்புக்காகவோ இல்லைன்னா ஒரு உத்தியோகத்துக்காகவோ அங்க போய் செட்டில் ஆறா எல்லாருமே செட்டில்
ஆமா,
ஆறா ஸோ இந்த
ரைட்.
மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது படிப்பு உத்தியோகம் அண்ட் தென் ஹோம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் இது எல்லாமே தே ஹாவ் டு டேக் கேர் ஆஃப் தெம்
வெரி
செல்ஸ். ஸோ இதுல
ட்ரூ.
மெனி ஆஃப் த சில்ட்ரன் நல்லா எக்ஸலண்டாவே மேனேஜ் பண்றா. பட் ஆனா சில குழந்தைகள் புதுசா போகும்போது அவளுக்குலாம் சில டிப்ஸ் சில நாக்ஸ் எல்லாம் சொல்லி கொடுத்தாக்க இன்னும் கூட they'll be able to handle it, அந்த
Yeah,
மாதிரி.
very true. Yeah.
And as for me, when my son he went say about some 17 years back he left to the US. அப்போ
Yeah.
uh, and he was just most of them, soon after their studies they just go, and boys especially, they no don't mingle with us in the kitchen when they are with us. So they don't do that. So once they go there, they have that anxiety how we are going to manage and all that. And of course, as parents, we also don't leave them like that. So I just sent some podis and sambar podi. It's a must. And whatever he
Very
like,
true.
small recipes. I just made a recipe book for him
Yeah.
and I sent it. But he was staying with his friend. They had taken a house for rent and they were staying. And the other friend, he knew quite a lot of cooking. So both of them,
Wonderful.
they managed. So this was how they take on.
Yeah.
And then like this, then they started making, they started using ready-made rotis. I was not aware that time what is available there. So ready-made
Okay.
rotis they used to buy. They used to make some curries. And then முதல்ல they were out, for all the eating outside. But gradually they wanted home food and they started making, and it was fun for them initially. And then they started getting along. So this
Wonderful.
was how they was managing. And, they want the traditional, because having been brought up, the traditional, eating traditional foods, they'll start liking that.
Yeah.
What about your son, Nina?
They
Like,
cannot
how did
forget
he?
mother's taste and cooking. They yearn for it so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And, and what about your son?
Yeah.
How he started
Yeah.
adjusting?
See, one thing about my elder one, we are blessed with two sons, and then my elder son, actually, he's been in Europe since almost 16 years, 16 long years. He also went for
Okay,
his higher studies to Europe. And the first thing, I always remember before that, way ahead, years ahead, 30 years ago, when my husband went to Switzerland for almost a year, at that time, he was so raw to cooking, though he was able to manage and do some of the things because he was well trained and given an opportunity by his mother long. But then, I was wondering how this man is going to be eating only bread and butter the first day when he went, the Swiss bread, they are very famous for bread actually, the German and the Swiss. So,
okay.
the top is very hard. He went to cut, and then he cut his finger and he told me over phone, I cut my finger. Thankfully, as a dutiful wife, I had sent him a band-aid. So that came
Okay.
to rescue. So
Handy.
these are the most wonderful little adventures and escapades that he has had with his cooking then. And I had sent him a lot of upma mix. Not that he would eat it every day. 30 years ago itself, I was thinking, why not I make it? And I did that at home, and I would send it across to him when he went, and with some of his friends, and they worked together, a few of them, and they learned to do it too. I mean, that trend started right from the time, my husband was there 30 years ago. Then later when Anirudh went abroad, but initially, Anirudh, my son, some of the children have a flair to just be a part of a kitchen and lend a helping hand.
That's very nice.
So he would always say, Ma, what are you making? Come on, you're doing something. Let me give you a helping hand. So, he was quite an excited child, and so he had a flair for learning too. So
Okay.
that was wonderful. And moreover, what happened was, like, before he took off, just about, I think, 10 days before, he said, no, I'll kattukare, I will learn, he would say. My husband said, that will not, that is not sufficient. You need to dirty your hands. Come on. Then he would say, Amma has already cooked today, tomorrow I'll do. No, even at 9 o'clock in the night, you learn to, Nina, teach him how to keep a cooker first. So half the
That's
problem
nice.
is solved.
That's
So, you had sent a beautiful 3-liter cooker. I think it's traveled all over the globe. Many of the cousins and relatives have already taken that. So, first cooker. In cooker, the advantage is, like, you teach them how to keep rice and dal, tuvaram paruppu, mainly.
yes.
So half
Yes.
your problem is solved. So now it's quick to make a dal or a rasam
Yeah.
or a sambar. So he said he would make every day, every evening, night, he used to test that and do it.
That's
And my
very
husband
nice
said,
of
that's
him.
so very important for you. And then he said, you learn to teach him to cut his own vegetables. You have sent him upma mix, but he can't eat upma without vegetables. To teach him how to cut a vegetable and hold a knife. So,
Okay.
these are the things. Then, grip irkuno. Ilena, again, same story like my husband, where he cut his finger, he wouldn't be doing that. So these are the most wonderful things that, he got to learn. And as, he used to write, he had a diary. Recently also, a month ago, Anirudh found a diary, and he was so excited. He showed me, something, Ma, what I got? I found the diary that you had written everything, every basic thing, right from rasam to upma to dal and sambar and everything. That was like wonderful,
Yes.
So he has saved it, and he has kept it in his safe custody. So he is very well organized actually. And then
Okay.
eventually, see, you can eat a cereal. It's not that. I make this ganji mix a lot. This cereal pudi irukudilla, like, the ragi.
தெரியுங்க.
and the jowar, this thing. I make the kara ganji mix, ready mix. So I send that. So it's like easy for him to kind of make it with the yogurt and a little bit of warm water, and you can have a whole mug full. So you have the sweet version with jaggery also, and the savory version with the, what do you call, the seasoning of hing, and then mustard, curry leaves, and dry home dried coriander leaves, and a little bit of groundnut oil, in the seasoning. It's all a dry mix with the salt and a little bit of jaggery for that.
That is filling also,
Yum
no? That's a
taste.
filling and
Very.
nutritious breakfast it
Yes,
is.
incidentally, a thing was like I managed 2 homes for 5.5 years. When my younger one also was in Hubli doing his medicines, I managed
Oh,
both the homes. So I used to leave him for a couple of days and organize my home here, the
okay.
headquarters in here where my husband, I mean, we are. So there too, I would organize everything. I tell you one thing, I always
Yeah.
tell children, learn to keep the cooker first. How
Yes.
to kind of keep the cooker. Half the problem is solved. And one more tip I can always suggest children is to follow Vijay Varadarajan's
Easy
YouTube
recipe.
channel for those wonderful recipe where she suggests cooking more of tur dal in pressure cooker, whisking it and cool it and keep it in the fridge. So, today you can make a little bit of dal. The same thing, after 1 or 2 days, you can immediately take it out and make a sambar or rasam. So that solves half the problem actually, especially for
Definitely.
children who are in the peak of the academia. So these are the tips, they can follow in her book called Yogurt Book, and the Sattvic Recipes and YouTube channel. She has quite a lot of amazing, easy peasy stuff for the younger generation today, which I really loved. And one of the most important thing is, encourage both your children, be it a male, don't be gender biased. Allow them to manage a knife, help you around the kitchen, so that they understand how to be self-reliant, so much self-reliant,
Another thing is,
isn't it?
these are all surviving skills, we
Very
cannot
true.
keep eating outside very often. So that
You-
will spoil your stomach.
Exactly. Yes. He says, Ma, I can't eat bread because it's not staple. I feel hungry the whole day. I want to, I mean, it doesn't fill the stomach. And the kind of energy they put in, especially in the climate where they are very hungry constantly.
Hungry. Yes.
So, yeah, these are the things. And I would be making this instant upma mix for him again, and khichdi mix, and
Yeah.
then pulao mix for him,
Yeah.
and then puri aval
That's
dry
great.
mix.
That's very,
Yes.
very nice.
So these are, yeah, they are such a boon. I feel we must thank our grandparents, grandmothers rather, for kind of doing all this those days and putting that to use in our own households, where my mother used to be practicing that, and we have been passing this on, which is so important
Yes.
and very helpful, Lydia. So these are the things which is so important. Yeah.
But there is, European countries, I don't know, it may be possible. But here in US, they come only once in 2 years. Till they settle down, perfectly. Once in 2 years, they come here. So whenever they come, we make this. I get to, now my son is married. We make the sambar podi and other stuff like parupu podi, tega podi. We make and we send it to them there. But luckily, I had
Welcome,
my
Lily. Miss you.
yeah. And we used
Yeah.
to have, my brother's family also lives in another place there in the US, and my mother is there. She used to send when my son was not married up, she used to keep sending supplies like that. She used to send. So that's
Yeah.
how we managed. But for those who don't have anybody there, so whenever they come here, they can take stuff. And nowadays you get everything. I was talking about, say, some 20 years back, it was like
Yeah.
that. And
Very
then when
true.
my son was just 17 plus years, so there was, I was not aware of when practically I started coming here, then only I came to know, but now you get all the stuffs you get
Very
even for a
true.
festival, even everything you get so that it can be,
Fantastic. No, that's
yeah,
really
that's
feel like
very nice.
home. Very true. Very true.
But even
So
now,
that's, yeah,
yeah,
but
tell
the
me.
roasting and all, I mean, especially the chili factor, we are used to kind of, when we make podis, our thing is like the basic requirement is to roast the red chilies,
Chilies, yes.
and that, this thing, the exhaust needs to be on, and then, the
Yes.
fumes, though, you're on the lower mode of roasting, it may
Yes. Yes.
kind of
For summer
trigger on. Yeah,
like that it
it would.
happens.
Yeah, somebody. I mean, our Indian households and neighborhood is used to those kind of flavors and aromas and those fumes. So
Exactly.
it's like yeah. If somebody is a neighborhood, if you no, or sense some milk is burning, and sit and tell my husband, did you keep the milk down here somewhere? No, no, it's not my house, it's in somebody's house. So it's like that. I
Sharp
think we're
nose.
all used to that kind of a natural, things around here. So I don't know how
Yeah.
that works there. I've never kind of roasted anything there as of now. Once earlier, this time, when I went, there was a lot of rava which I had already sent, and I said, no, I'll make the instant upma mix there itself, and I made instant rava upma mix and khichdi mix for him, so that I stacked it. And I tell you one more tip. Deep freezers are such a boon, trust me. Deep
Definitely.
freezers, yes.
Yes.
I think I have posted also in my recipe where, I used to come here once in a month, organize the deep freezer for my husband, and I used to
Okay.
write everything, even the dosa batter, adai batter, and all those kind of things, I would literally put them in boxes and then seal and then label them and then write it.
Oh, that was
And
very nice.
what I would tell, he would say, no, this is over. Then he'd say, before going to work, take that deep frozen dosa batter out.
Love
So by the nightfall,
an
it'll
hour.
be ready. So you can use it the next day, aram se. It takes some time to thaw. But I
Yes.
tell you, trust me, it really helps a lot. And the masalas, the roasting
Yeah.
masala for kootu or porchi kootu, or thing, double it up. I always tell people, even the archivittu sambar, whatever you want to be doing that, I always say, do it twice. So that mark it on the label, put it in the deep freezer. For the second time, it's like easy peasy fatafat. That's it.
Exactly, exactly. That's how it goes. And
Yeah,
here for the dosa batter also here, whether there is it takes a long time to ferment because of the climate. It takes a long time.
very
But
true.
there too, you have an option here. That is, they have the Instapot way of cooking. So they go
Huh.
into the set it in the yogurt mode, and you can get it fermented as naturally as possible. And always,
But how long
so that way you
does
can
it
go for
take,
it.
Jayashree, for that to ferment the process? It's going to take a couple of hours, say about 48 hours or something like that.
No, no, no. If it's going to go naturally, it will take so much of time. See, like in
Yeah.
India, we just grind it in the morning and we keep it, and then by night time, it is ready, it is fermented and ready. But here also, I grind it in the morning and then I set it in this Instapot. So
Huh.
once I set it, set the timer, say for 6 hours or 8 hours. And by the time the timer is done, after this 8 hours, I can see it is fermented. So I can right
Huh.
away use it. So that is it.
Excellent.
One more thing is they get dosa batter is also available. That also they get
That's very
freely
good.
now. So that
Very
supply
good.
is also nice. So they don't have the problem of they don't have the time to grind. Also, it is okay for them. And as for
Huh.
this roasting and other things, when they start cooking itself, they switch on the exhaust fan. So
Obviously.
that's no
True.
problem.
Very
So for
good.
everything there is a way out. It is there.
Fantastic.
And
Yeah, so you that's very nice. In fact, do they have the traditional wet grinder இருக்குதா உங்க கிட்ட? Like
yes, yes, it
you can
is
have that,
available.
right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have that also. But the time they should find, since both of them are working. That's another thing which I wanted to say.
Ah,
So
very true.
nowadays, because of the economic conditions, both husband and wife, they need to work.
Very
So
true.
and when they get kids and all that, அப்ப the lady of the house is doing கொஞ்சம் multitasking. Most of the houses,
Very
the lady, she's doing
true.
multitasking.
Yes.
So here and there, some tips and knacks for them. It will help them to manage. Many of them are doing an excellent job. But
Excellent.
for some for persons who are working for, for the புதுசா they are going for a job. இல்லைன்னா if they are புதுசா குழந்தை பிறந்திருக்கு. So அந்த மாதிரி how for them to manage the work life and also their home life.
Very
அப்படின்றத
true.
பார்க்கணும் நம்ம.
Yes.
So அதுக்கு
And
one thing is
yeah,
the women should be an early riser. Appa when she gets up early, she can, that time the energy is high that time, and you can
very true.
do all your jobs in an organized way, more efficient way you can do. So that
Very
is
true.
most important thing. Second most
Absolutely.
important thing is, which you should not do is get up and go indulge in this social media. அது பண்ணக்கூடாது morning because it
Well,
takes away
you
your time.
nailed the right aspect. Yes, very true. It's a boon, it's a bane too. Correct
Exactly.
சொன்னீங்க. Absolutely.
அதனால maybe they can just take up a phone and then they can WhatsApp their parents who are far away, can say good morning or just inquire their health or well-being like that. அது மட்டும் பண்ணிட்டு they can then switch it off.
Very
And
true.
morning getting up is very true. And then I mean they have to get up and along with a cup of coffee they can set a cooker or something like that. That is வந்து ஒரு தால் ஒரு காய் and then அதெல்லாம் வந்து ரைஸ் இதெல்லாத்தையும் வச்சுட்டாக்க so கொஞ்சம் ஒரு say 40% of the work is done in the morning அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம் நம்ம. So that's
Very
way they
true.
can do. Another thing is if you can get a help Indianaக்க that is you get help.
Yeah.
So here ஒரு வேலைக்காரி வீட்டுல வச்சிருந்தாக்க அவங்களால வந்து they can manage the house apart from doing the rest of the job. அதாவது ஒரு பாத்திரம் vessel washing இல்லைன்னா வந்து ஒரு clothes hang பண்றது. every houses nowadays they have a laundry machine they have at home. அந்த மாதிரி
Yes.
பண்ணலாம். And that if you get a cook in India, that's much better. Even abroad also nowadays you're getting cooks are there available.
Really?
And then they can,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I
yeah,
see. Okay.
and so they can do that. And very excellent are for those who do not have this help.
Yeah.
But they can also be organized. Over a period of time, they can come in an organized manner. They can
Yes, very
come.
true. But I think, it is so important for all of us Indians, Desis, whoever, to really, introduce our children into, learning the household chores and being a part of you.
Yes.
Konjo, I always tell, it should not matter if you learn to hold a broom yourself. It should not matter. So,
Yes.
when you are outside, you learn to keep your own premises clean. And then, of
Exactly.
course, as you said, the batters play such a boon and a pivotal role for. My son also has taken ultra grinder and converted to that wattage.
Okay.
And then, he says weekends, he makes it a point on Fridays. I tell him before going to bed, you soak the proportion which I have told him for idlis or dosas or batter or adai. So he soaks it, and the next morning, about 8 or 9 hours, maybe during winters for longer hours of soaking, and he grinds it. And one more tip, what I would always tell people is to save a little bit of sour batter from the previous batch, always. Right from the summertime, we need to do that. If you save it in the bottle, you can even deep freeze them in small parts so that, you can take it out, thaw, and then, so that will help easy fermentation process. Yes. So that will really aid. And the coconut, many times, you get a coconut, you don't have the grater. What do? Break it into two. And then all you need to do is take the, this thing. Yes, you put it in the cling film and wrap it and then put it in the deep freezer. Yeah. The next day, anytime you want, I do the same thing in India at the time when I run out of time, when I don't have the grated coconut, okay? So I leave it to run it under water in a vessel. It becomes so soft. I cut it off in the knife, fatafat, and make a chutney. So these are the most important things which are so useful to all of us. And deep freezer, more than the refrigerator, I would always recommend people to use a deep freezer and take small label stickers and write with the dates and whatever you kind of propose to do. You have extra batani or, the peas or any kind of pulses, even the sprouts, what we do, that can be deep frozen and used also. So, yes. So it's so nice to really see our children enjoying and cooking in their own hands and feeling so satisfied. The day my son, every day when he comes and he kind of says, Ma, I made this. Yes, we have a lot of YouTube and then a lot of channels which kind of suggest us and teach us so many things. But no matter what, bottom line, the children want, whether it's your children, your child, whether it's my daughter or my son or your daughter or your son, they want to enjoy home food cooked by the mothers, that they have been enjoying since childhood. So that is the thing.
They enjoy the home cooked food and they pass it on to the others, to their coming generations also. They're going to pass it on. They know the value of it.
Very true. You would believe it. I still remember my younger brother, first younger brother, Giridhar, he went to the US I think probably many, many years ago, maybe
Okay.
more than 2 decades back, okay, maybe more than 2.5 decades ago. At the time when he was a fussy eater when he was a child. I still
Okay.
remember. We used to
Okay.
make that, my mom used to make, Amma used to make the typical, the greens,
Okay.
uh, uh, the greens sambar in a very specific way, traditional way, especially on Thursdays.
Okay.
Okay, and that Vendiam, the whole methi seeds had to be a part of the seasoning. He was so
Amazing.
fussy; he would not like. He would take it and keep that. He would say, "Why you would put this?" So he wouldn't. Then when he went abroad, so he said, "Ma, whatever you were doing, can you pass that recipe on to me? I want to do." So it's like the old school comes back, and today that is
Amazing. They
what.
realize
Yeah,
the value, no?
very
And then
true.
also, as you said, no, they can put away the methi seeds, the essence is always there and it does good,
Yes.
That's very true.
Very true. I still remember my father used to think, this Navel course, no, what do you call this turnip, the green turnips, My
Okay.
mother used to make a very specific subject because my father was always particular. You have to incorporate a lot of roughage in food. And the kalathile. I'm
Fiber.
talking about when I was a child. So
Mm.
you're saying, put in, Prema you should make a lot of roughage. And my mother used to make a lot of roughage. And incidentally, the turnip, the green turnip or whatever turnip is highly fibrous.
Yes,
And
fiber.
I
Fiber
would
is there.
not, she would make that sambar, which I would love. She used to make a
Okay.
very special sambar. But that
Okay.
sabji, no, somehow, I say, Ma, I don't like it. My father used to open his eyes and say, never ever say that you don't like this and you don't like this or that. You must learn to relish and enjoy every little food served by your mother. Then it
Yeah.
strike the bell. I said, yeah, maybe I'm doing a mistake. I said, sorry, I'll do that. And, that is how. Uh, so there's no disparity that even Kuvarad, she has to learn or he has to learn. I think every one of them should be a part of the culinary world to be able to sustain for himself or herself
Yeah, yeah,
today's
yeah.
generation, right?
Very true. And also, it's necessary for them to prepare nowadays. That is now that my son is married, and like this, there are so many young couples are all there. So they need to make a weekly meal planner. That will be very nice for them.
Very, very
So
true.
this, Monday to Friday, that is, they can just make a rough list, or they can just from the internet also you can download nowadays, and then you
Yes.
can have it stuck on the fridge. You can stick it, and then you can write the different options for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, and all these options they can. And that's what my people also they do here. So they plan what they're going to cook for this coming week, and
Excellent.
accordingly and that will decide what grocery they're going to buy. என்ன
Perfect.
வந்து காய்கறி என்ன பழம் வாங்க போறா, என்ன வந்து
Yeah.
ஸ்நாக் வந்து வாங்க போறா, because they have children at home. The snack என்ன வாங்க போறா, இதெல்லாம் வந்து டிசைட் பண்ணி they do the shopping அந்த Saturday Sundays. But ஆனா ஷாப்பிங் பண்ணும்போது மட்டும் if you're taking children, beware, I will say, because they will say, I want this, I want that. Okay.
Temptations galore, Alia.
Yeah, yeah. Not like that.
No,
And
no.
then once
Another tip perhaps is feed your children well.
yes,
Tummy full and take them to the mall or to the groceries.
that's very, very true. That's true. But இருந்தாலும் வந்து I want a lollipop, I want this,
Yeah,
they go place for
something like
that.
true.
Okay. So that also you have to keep depriving them here and there.
Yeah.
And so while they bring the groceries, they just fill them up. As soon as they buy it, they fill it up, and then whatever vegetables, so that clean it up, then put it in cloth bags. They stack it up in the vegetable trays in the refrigerator. They stack them up. And kira, especially, they buy
Yeah.
spinach. They get washed and cleaned once you get here. And sometimes in Indian groceries, you get them with the coriander and all that, with the roots you get. So there you have to do the trimming of this, roll it up in a paper towel, and then put it in a Ziploc cover, neatly stack them so that it can be used for the
Very true.
next day. Right away, you can just use it away for this cooking. So this sort of things they will be doing. And for the next day morning, for the kids especially, what they do is they just their lunch boxes, the lunch bags, their water bottles, the lids, everything.
Everything has to be perfect and ready and pre-planned.
Yes, they have to
Pre-planned.
clean it up. They clean it up, dry it up, put it in a tray, and put it in a
Very
place
true.
where it is done. And then they put, for example, on top of the refrigerator, they can just have it there, and then they can use it so that they don't search for the lids the next day morning when they have to fill up the lunch boxes.
Yes.
அதெல்லாம் பண்ண வேண்டிய இருக்கவே இருக்காது. So that they will do all this weekly meal planning. And Saturday, Sundays, they also do the grinding for the sada batter,
Yeah,
the
very
dosa
true.
batter.
Yes,
They do.
yes. It's so
So
important.
yeah, for the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it will go like one idli and this ada, something like that. Then later on, it will go for a cornflakes or a sandwich, and the Mari,
Yeah,
Thursday, Fridays.
yeah,
So this is how that sort of a timetable it goes on here. So the Mari,
absolutely.
they need to be
Yeah,
organized, you know. And gradually, as they keep doing it, they come in an organized way they can do. And also, children, they should be taught to do small chores like
very true.
in the Mari, like when putting a dishwasher, most of them, I mean, all the houses here, they have a dishwasher here, so they will be, the children are taught here to put the small tumblers, their
Wonderful.
glasses, cups, and spoons into that. And once it is clean, to put them back in the racks also, so that way they have given a laundry basket. Soon as they come back from school, they put their socks in one and they put their dresses in one. So that way it
That's
goes like
it
this.
reminds me and takes us back to school when we were taught bits of paper fallen on the
Yes,
ground. Makes
ground,
the place
yes,
untidy, pick them up.
yes,
So I
exactly.
think charity begins from school and home too, isn't it? It's very
Definitely,
very
definitely.
important for parents to encourage the little ones into that. Actually, very
My
right,
little
very right.
my little granddaughter, she will do all the tidying up in her daycare, she will do, but not at home. So, but she needs to be bribed here. I'll give you a chocolate, we say. And then அது கூட ஒரு chocolate தான், not more than that. We say your teeth will become, because they go to the dental
Yes,
dentist,
yes.
they go very often. They have to keep themselves clean and all that. So
Yes,
that
oral
way,
hygiene is so important and they are very expensive actually. It's
very
very
expensive.
expensive. Very expensive.
Expensive. So they
Very
are taught this
expensive.
right from this very small age. They are taught, and so only one chocolate if she does a job. I mean, for the whole clean up her toys and all that. So they should be taught that way also. You know, small chores they can do when the
Yes,
mother is there, very busy
very true.
that way.
I think,
Yes,
for me, I always tell the youngsters who are traveling abroad, and, many mothers who are absolutely, quite alien to understand what is available there. I would always tell them, you better kind of send a kilo or two of tur dal first and 1 or 2 kilo of rice, and then asafoetida, that is hing.
yeah, yeah.
North, east, south, west, the whole of India, our country, we all use asafoetida or hing, which is important digestive also for children, no matter
Sure,
whatever
sure.
they are. You can even put it in your buttermilk, make it in your buttermilk and put, and then turmeric. These are the must take along for children carry. And a cooker, pressure cooker with couple of safety valves, and then the
Yeah, true.
gasket most
Yes,
importantly. So
yes,
3-liter cooker is good enough, and then that's going to help them. And if mothers are quite understanding, and if they have the habit of making some instant food, they can carry and take it along, which will help them in the long run, in fact, and until they are kind of well organized for themselves.
yes.
So I think it is so nice to kind of share our thoughts and practices. And for many people who are quite new to this, please do follow our Instagram handles.
Good.
Relishing Madras, Jayashree has a lot of tips and ideas. And then Vijay Varadarajan's Satvik Recipes in YouTube has very easy peasy, quick recipes,
Yes, very
which
true.
are very, very easy for the younger generation to follow. It's not very labor oriented, yet traditional and very smart way of cooking, which I learned so many tips from her, especially the vegetables, cooking vegetables, Vijay Varadarajan style, the mixed vegetable, putting it in pressure cooker with minimum water and then to one whistle and release it. That really works super fast. I really
Exactly.
love that tip. Thank you,
Quick
Vijay, for
cooking.
all these kind of tips for all of us, actually.
A quick and nutritious way of cooking is
Very
very
true.
nice.
It
She has
retains
shared
the
it.
nutrition as well as the color. That is what she says. Even when Vijay does that, the color of the green color and the beans color, everything is retained so
Retained.
beautifully.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
they're so
yes.
good.
some tips here and there, it helps us to have it in a nutritious way. And your way of that ragi kanji, I can never forget. I keep
Yes,
telling it at home also very often. That's very nutritious, very filling. I know
yes.
it's very, there's a lot of, it keeps you filled for long hours, you know. So
Yes,
that's very
it
nice that
used to
we should
be
never,
the dinner option for my both sons when I was away. When I was balancing both the homes, my younger one also would say, Amma, I finished my dinner because he had erratic schedules of studies and
okay,
during his internship, when I was here for about a couple of months managing home here and there. So that was the time, no hotels or no eateries are open. So what is the boy going to do? Where is he going to find his food? They're having more than 100 or 120 patients in a day where they can't even, and they have emergency surgeries to attend. So it's the time, when you kind of are able to organize these things, it's going to come in handy. Cooking is not a rocket science. It's a Brahma Vidya. It's not a Brahma Vidya. It's kind of when your stomach calls, and your mom's cooking comes into your thought, or automatically you
yes.
drive yourself to learn cooking and
It is,
kind of enjoy it,
it,
isn't it?
it's
Then
nice. It's nice to know that your son, in spite of his busy schedule, he understanding the importance of his home cooked food,
very
he is carrying on. That's an
much,
amazing
very
fact.
much.
That's very
Very
true.
much. Yes, very much. In fact, so essential because my second son, he's taking care of the patients. I always tell him, you need somebody to take care of, and that's what I'm doing my level best to kind of organize so that today what we are going to be giving to them, they are going to be healthy, to be able to take care of others also, which is equally important for me. For every mother, the child is very important. And
Important,
so
no doubt.
yeah, I really admire and appreciate your daughter-in-law. In fact, Jayashree, in fact, I really appreciate how motivating she is to really start opening this Instagram
Yes.
page, and then the website also. How did you go about doing that?
Yeah, that was, when I came here for the postpartum, I did for her, the recipes and all that really took her.
Ah,
I mean, she was amazed by this, and that only induced her to, say, why don't you start this? And she started this for me. And
fantastic.
one more thing that which we are doing here, I would like to say, is using that electric kettle. That's an important gadget,
Very
Electric
true.
kettles. You see, for everything we need hot water. At least now and then sipping it, when they are on office work, they're doing work from home, they for sipping water instead of taking juices and all that which has got sugar content. They keep sipping water and not coffee also very often. That is also they become addictive to this. So they keep
Yes.
they have the electric kettle with this hot water, And not only even for making upmas and also this boiling hot water, if you add to that, it cooks very well. So for
But
that, for
it's
a lot
faster,
of,
makes the
yes,
cooking faster.
faster. So for many purposes, we use that electric kettle with that hot water we use. And but what happens is that electric kettle or bottom, some sediments are there. It never goes away. So that also
Yeah.
we have to boil water in the electric kettle with a little vinegar, and it does wonders. It cleans it up so fast. இதுல வந்து
So
what
how
they
much
do
you add? You just fill it up, or three-fourth, and then add a teaspoon of vinegar?
vinegar. That's
One.
it. So,
Fantastic.
so this removes the sediments it does. So we have actually two electric kettles are there, and in one we just boil. The sediments if it forms, we put this vinegar and we boil it. Adaliye, the kitchen towel also, one or two towels we'll be using daily, So that
Yeah.
we keep it immersed in the one which we don't use for cooking. Cooking.
Okay.
So other what happens is and the hot water boil agubo, the sediments are also removed, and there's also this greasy kitchen towels also, it becomes perfect, and we just wash it up in the sink and hang it up.
It's such a double tip. Thank you for this so much. This
Yeah,
is
that's
such a,
very nice. I wanted to
yeah.
share to the viewers. And இது
I think
மட்டும்
you
இல்ல,
need to just make a separate post for us and then put it in the page also. So
yeah,
that will be a wonderful
yeah, yeah.
hack for everyone to know. That is
We'll be
wonderful.
doing that. They will be doing that very, very
Yes,
soon.
Vijay, I
And
know you should be sharing this wonderful tip of Jayashree from Seattle.
yeah,
So
yeah.
do share more and more such tips from Seattle, Jayashree. It is so good to really working and talking to you
Okay.
from different time zones. And
Yeah.
really, there's so much more to really learn and share with the world and make things easy, yet traditional, and yet having the feel of home.
Yeah, sure.
It's so important for every child to for nourishment and well-being. So happy
Another
stomach
thing,
is a happy soul, actually, completely.
yeah, sure, sure. And now coming to the others also, for the others also, there are so many ways by which you can be organized. Nowadays, you get so many electric gadgets, right from a sandwich maker to an
Yes, very true.
air
Air
fryer, then
fryer.
yeah, the microwave ovens. So with all this, we can, shorten our cooking process itself. It can be shortened, and
Yeah.
then we can just plan up, and you can do
Yeah,
amazing job
I think
over this.
now I think most of us have already stopped the usage of microwave. In fact, I put it up the loft. In fact, since almost 5 years, because my elder one was saying, no, no, let's go off it. But once I saw Viji's that asafoetida entire cake, 30 paisa, I'm not going to give up. At least for the sake of making that asafoetida
Powder.
powder, what she suggests, putting it in the microwave. That tip also is so excellent. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, I haven't tried that yet. So that's going to be quite handy, actually.
Yes, yes. No, because asafoetida it solidifies, so it becomes so hard you can't remove it, and then use it for cooking. So that's why we
That
just keep it in the microwave and
MG,
then
LG hing, right? That
exactly
and that's
solid
she
one.
says you use the fresh one, chewy one, not the hard one. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
easy to kind of go about. So Viji's
exactly.
tips are also very good and so nice that you have been there, and such a huge support when parents are there, and then they are of great guidance, and all these things will help them to learn things faster and incorporate that in their day-to-day lives also, and that will help
Yes,
them and make things very easy also, right?
yes,
So
yes.
I think there's so much more for us to share, and I think we need to continue doing that subsequently.
Sure,
And
sure,
please do share your kettle trip and with the vinegar.
sure.
Just make a separate
Post for that.
post for all of us.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
sits as a reminder for all of us. And then I think we
yes.
would be kind of sharing much more in the coming
Weeks.
weeks,
Yes.
right? So until then, good. Have a wonderful day, Jayashree, and love to your family.
Okay.
And then thank you all, friends, for
You
being a
too.
part of us today and having joined us. Yes, Jayashree, do.
Yes, you too have a great day, and we will be continuing this topic the coming
Yes,
week also with the other of two of
absolutely.
them joining us. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So thank you so much,
Yes,
friends. Thanks from our hearts for joining us. So
yes.
we'll be back again very soon. The tradition touches. Thank you.
Thank you, viewers. Bye, all of you.
Bye bye, friends. Thank you.
Bye.